Hey, it's a Wednesday. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Time once again for Campbell Corner on Pioneer 90.1, a weekly feature, as we highlight the East Grand Forks Public Library. And once again, so gracious for taking time to come over and say, hey, it's the director of the Campbell Library, Charlotte Helgeson. Hello, Charlotte.
Hey.
Happy spring. It's finally here, I guess.
Yeah,
Kind
it
of.
is. The winter coat didn't get pulled out of the closet today.
Oh, good, good. Now they're saying 60s by Sunday, Monday, maybe?
I think it was 60 yesterday, wasn't it?
Was it? I lost track. It could have been.
Well, it felt like
All
it.
right. Very good. So spring is here. And we're talking spring fever in topic number 1. How can we address spring fever? What can we do to capitalize on that spring feeling?
Well, spring fever has its positive and, negative effects. So we just have to be aware. It's a big change for us coming out of the cocoon of winter into this it feels like the whole world has opened up.
I used the word hibernation.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. We're waking up now.
So what we're seeing is a lot of people walking to the library. We're downtown, so once you're there, you can go to the movie theater, you can go out to meals. I mean, there are people who have the apartments close by, lots and lots of walking, which is great. But then you need to remember to bring your backpack or your library card or something with you rather than just walking in as just yourself.
Right.
And I think people forget that sometimes as they're walking. We love to see it, and they can go to Sherlock Park, which is nearby. They're cleaning up the park. It's going to be all ready for spring. We have our fingers crossed that the pool will be open.
I'll cross these fingers and
All
my
right.
toes. Hang on.
Thank you.
Okay, they're crossed too.
Good.
All right.
We're working on the
I'll
pool.
cross my eyes. Hang on. Was it open last year? It wasn't, was it? No. Okay.
The other really great thing about the library is we're real close to the bike path.
Yes.
The trail. There's 27 miles, I believe, of that, and you can get to it right just across the street from the library. So
Also a large camping area.
the state park is
Yes.
there. Yeah. It's a really great location to walk from. It's a safe area for families to be. And because there's more sunshine now, even after you visit the library, you still have time to go to the park or vice versa. And so you don't have to scrunch so much into just a few hours of daylight. I like that.
It's the downtown library for Greater Grand Forks.
That's right.
We talked about East Grand Forks and downtown. Look at Grand Forks downtown. Across the Sorley Bridge, right down there, all those people living downtown. Come on over to a great library at Campbell.
And if they ride a bike, I'm going to strongly encourage everyone to have a lock and use it, because there are a lot of people that go through the parking lot and go through the library, and sometimes people aren't as caring as they can be. So take care of your own personal possessions. If you have one of those trailers where your children or whatever you might be carrying behind you is on your bike, if you ask, we may have room to park it inside. Otherwise, make sure that's locked up also.
I mentioned downtown Grand Forks. Let's say I lived in downtown Grand Forks. Can I get a library card at Campbell?
You can get a library card, but you have to pay a fee
Okay.
because you're in a different state, county, and city
But I
from
could do
East
that.
Grand Forks. But of course you can. And if you're there for the summer, like at the state park, you can get a card for $5, and it will last for 3 months.
So if you're a North Dakota resident, let's say downtown Grand Forks, how much is that fee?
$10 for books and audio.
Is that it?
$15 if you want to include movie and artwork.
That's not bad for a full year.
You're not going to be able to purchase a lot of books
No
or movies
way.
for that.
Exactly right. Point 2, graphic novels. Now, define graphic for me. What is graphic novels?
Graphic means you get the pictures.
Ah.
Remember when you went from books that didn't have pictures into the books that were just what we called chapter books?
Let me think now.
couple decades ago.
I'm processing here, yes. I recall The Cat in the Hat, but that had pictures, I recall.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're talking transition here.
Right.
And the graphic images are produced by words, not images.
Oh, they have images and they have words.
Oh, they do.
They are what
Okay.
we would have called as young people bound comic books.
Oh.
Now, some people might frown by my description of that, but that is the style.
Adventure.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's
Ron West.
It's adventure, and you
Yeah.
have the picture, and you have the written word, but more of the dialogue. And then, as in a comic book, you have the little square that gives you the narrative that might go with it.
Right.
That isn't actually dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them up a long time ago. When's the last time you read a comic book?
Let's see, about 7 o'clock this morning.
Okay, well, you're doing much better than a lot of adults.
No, I'm just teasing. But so what you're saying then is that dialogue wouldn't include, let's say, a frame that just had the word pow or Shazam
It may.
or bang.
Right.
It might.
It might.
It might. All right.
The thing with graphic novels now is that they're expanding over all the genres. So with me,
Right.
just for examples, I brought Astro City, Life in the Big City, which I enjoyed this graphic novel. It gives us the story of what superheroes do in their everyday life.
Beyond fighting crime.
Right.
And
I mean,
evil,
we
yeah.
all know those stories about how they rescue,
Sure,
a
sure.
speeding train or
Right.
something along that line.
Yeah.
Well, if Superman ever had a couple extra minutes, what would he do?
Yeah, this is life beyond the Batcave, right?
Right.
Okay.
He
got it.
he has that secret identity
Yeah,
during the day, and then he's Superman to rescue
Sure,
people.
sure.
If he had a few minutes free, Superman just wants to fly. He just wants to fly free. I thought that was such a great story. It makes it human. It's fun to read all the pictures.
Sure.
I enjoy it. When I talk to adults about graphic novels who don't read comic books, I usually ask them, have you ever read one? And most of us have at some point in our life.
Mm.
And I said, we gave it up as a kid, not because we didn't enjoy it anymore, but because we grew up.
You were supposed to.
Right.
Yes.
So let's go back and enjoy it.
There you go.
We also have nonfiction.
Okay.
We have biographies. We have Alexander Hamilton. We had just gotten a new one about Martin Luther King. We have Beowulf, classics, that are in a form where people can approach them differently, learn the story, see pictures, and remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. There is a graphic junior novel, and the cover has the smiley face with teeth and
I see that.
braces. So you can just imagine what this is about.
Braces, yes.
Yes, and a lot of junior readers will totally understand.
Sure. Identify. Yeah.
But it's filled with pictures and the
Look
story.
at that. Oh, my goodness.
So it's fun to read. I did ask a young person the other day how they read a graphic novel. Do you go through and read all the words? Do you go through and look at all the pictures? Do you do it all at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
And they had a very questioning look on their face, and they said, well, they read it all at the same time. I said, I don't. I read the words, then I go back and enjoy the pictures. I don't know why, and neither way is right or wrong.
Right, exactly. Your style, your preference.
Yep.
Yeah, very good.
So try a graphic novel if you've never tried one.
All right. And we have just enough time to mention a couple of books that are brand new.
Well, these are things we can relate to, so I brought them because sometimes we like to read about home, not necessarily Superman. So Natives of a Dry Place by Richard Edwards is actually about Stanley, North Dakota, pre-oil boom. And his comment is, when you're a kid, you think the town around you is just ordinary.
Sure.
But then when you grow up and you look back, you think, wow, there were some really great things, some wonderful things that were in my hometown.
Pre-oil.
Pre-oil
Yeah.
is that story.
Okay.
And Prairie Fires, which is The American Dreams of Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh, my.
So a new biography by Carolyn Fraser. So another look as to her time period and what was going on around her, not just her life.
Brand new books,
Brand new.
among many,
Many
at
books.
Campbell Library. Wonderful. We have to scoot, darn. To find out more about the Campbell Library, give us more information as to what folks can do.
Call it 218-773-9121.
Yep.
Go to the website at egflibrary.org.
Or stop on by and say, hey,
Hey,
how you doing? And you'll hear a big hey back, right?
that's right.
Okay, Charlotte, thank you.
Thank you.
And happy spring.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And Campbell Corner heard Wednesdays at 3:05 exclusively on Pioneer 90.1.